Hello friends, welcome to all, I hope you are well. Today I will show you a short-term buy and sell tactic. In the upcoming videos, I will make indicator combinations for you. In our training video today, how can we create a buy and sell tactic in a 1-hour period? Which indicators should we use? I will try to explain these to you. Friends, watch the video carefully because you may make mistakes. Know exactly where to buy and where to sell. Make no mistake. Remember, no indicator works perfectly. That's why every indicator has an error. It gives false signals. Indicators are 70% of this work. So technical analysis is 70% of this work. The remaining 30% consists of foreign market news, political news and price movements arising from news affecting that parity. Let's not forget these. Today's buy and sell tactic will be in the 1-hour period. If you listen well, it will give you the opportunity to trade 3 to 4 times a day. If you are using the paid version in the TradingWeave app, one will show you a scan. It will show you any newly crossed cryptocurrencies or stocks when using this trading tactic. You don't have to worry about looking for crypto money, you can find it yourself and buy and sell that way. Friends, without further ado, I have a Telegram address in the descriptions of the video. If you have any questions, you can reach me there. Now let's get back to our topic. From the indicators section, I bring up the Fisher transform indicator. Our other indicator is the Kdj indicator. Here I am using the Kdj indicator by the author of Klinst. You can stop and watch the video. I am using the indicator posted by this person. Here I just change the Fisher input and make 10. As you see, I do not play with the settings of the Kdj indicator, but change the colors, friends, because the colors are not visible. So let's make yellow black. We have nothing to do with yellow. Let's thicken the line. This way, friends, our indicators are ready. I did not explain the Fisher transform indicator and the Kdj indicator in the technical analysis training series. But let me show you how it creates a buy condition. In the Fisher indicator, a buy condition is created when the blue line crosses upwards with the orange line. In the Kdj indicator, on the other hand, when the red line crosses the black line upwards, it creates a buy condition. Now, friends, of course, there are places that we should pay attention to. As I said, no indicator works perfectly. Only we can make it perfect, friends. That's why we have to act with care. First, friends, we find the places where both the Fisher indicator and the Kdj indicator give a buy signal at the same time. For example, here, as you can see, Fisher gave the buy signal, but Kdj already gave the buy signal before. If you see a position like this, do not trade there, because to simplify my transactions. Let's go back a little. For example, here, friends. Here, both Fisher gave a buy signal and Kdj gave a buy signal, as you can see, in a 1-hour period. And from here, from the intersection point, it went up to the hill over there. So let's assume we're not buying from that candle, but from its closing. It has brought a profit of 4.5%, 5% from this region to the intersection. Of course, this is an excellent profit for an hourly chart. You can also catch such profits in 1-hour periods. But if you are going to day trade more, if you see a profit of 1%, exit the trade, guys. Of course, that if you see a 1% profit here, exit the trade, follow the signals given by the indicator. Now, when the two intersect at the same time, that is, as you can see here, the two intersect at the same time and create a buy condition for us. So where do we exit the transaction? Now there are two conditions for us to sell it. The first condition is that you can see the lines in Fisher right now. When these lines touch the top line, that is, the blue line, you can exit the process. As you can see here. If you don't want to take risks, you can exit the trade here as well. Those who want to take risks can sell when the blue line crosses the orange line on the downside. This is our selling condition. So what we do is, when Kdj and Fisher intersect at the same time, it creates a buy and sell condition for us. In Fisher, we can sell when the blue line crosses the orange line downwards. In addition, we can sell again when the blue line in Fisher comes to the orange line here. Friends, don't be misled, it is very close here. But as you can see here, a long trend started and intersected here. Now let's look at another example. For example, there was an intersection here as well. As you can see, there was an intersection here. If you had bought it here, some of our friends would have sold it when it touched the blue top line, so in that region. Some of our friends sell when the blue line crosses downwards or sells in this region. As you can see, friends, we get the sell condition from the Fisher indicator. There is a sell condition. I'm trying to find any fake signals. Can we consider this as a fake signal? So if we enter here, we are already in profit. Let's see if there is any difference. For example, as you can see here. Here, two indicators have created a buy condition at the same time and they are at the peak. As you can see in the next candle, here Fisher crosses downward. We see the intersection, where we get the fake signal like this. Okay, we need to identify the intersections. Our Kdj indicator intersects here, and an hour later the Fisher transform intersects. In these cases, either find the points where the two intersect at the same time and don't risk it. Or here, for example, Kdj intersects first, then Fisher intersects an hour later. Then comes a fake fall. If you enter the trade directly when one of the two intersects and you encounter a situation like this, you will close the trade as soon as our Fisher indicator starts to cross downwards and you will stop loss. If you stop, the loss you will do here is at most 0.5%. And with this loss, you exit the trade and stop. Pay attention to these, but make sure that they intersect at the same time in the other remaining directions, friends. Look, it's both fake and not intersecting at the same time. Here Kdj intersects, then Fisher intersects. As you can see, Kdj intersects here. Fisher intersects here, friends, so pay attention to these as you examine them. These are the tricks of the indicators. Let's have a look around here, friends. For example, there was a very nice intersection here. For example, let me give an example. You entered a transaction like this. Kdj has crossed before and is still crossing upwards. At that time, Fisher crossed, friends. If you trade in this way, you will exit the trade with the same logic when Fisher produces a sell signal. That way, when it intersects over there, Fisher has already left a red candle behind. You will probably panic here, but Fisher still hasn't given a sell signal. It gave the sell signal here, so even if you enter here, as I said, even if you enter the trade here, you will buy it at the intersection of the candle. It even intersects here. Even if you trade in these regions, the place where Kdj gives a sell signal still leaves a profit of 3%, 3.5%. But usually Fisher is your sell signal. In such cases, you usually get confirmation from it. Well, you may say now, sir, how can we generate buy and sell signals with this? For example, let me show you now. The important thing for us is to find the cryptocurrencies in the places where they first intersect. As I said, if you have a TradingWeave membership, I will show you a very simple scan of it. You can set it yourself from there. You scan in a 1-hour period. Here are the places we should pay attention to, friends. As you can see now, Kdj intersects here, and Fisher intersects here. Fisher crossed here, friends, but Kdj is still at the intersection. We need to pay attention to these. You know, we can set an alarm on top of them to follow up. This is how we set the alarm. We control 10, 20 different cryptocurrencies, whichever one runs the alarm. When they intersect at the same time, we enter the transaction. Then, folks, let's have a look at where they recently crossed over there. Here both of the indicators intersect in the same way, at the same time. Let's look at where it intersects from where it signals they intersect there. Let's say we're entering this area. From where we closed the transaction, we see that Fisher gave us a profit of around 3.5%. As I said, friends, the places we need to pay attention to are to catch the places where both of them intersect at the same time. These can be risky trades if one intersects earlier and the other later. The places we need to pay attention to are to catch the places where both of them intersect at the same time. You have to follow the stop loss and sell rule. There are two options to sell. You can either sell when the Fisher touches the top line, or sell when the blue line crosses the orange line to the downside. So at that moment you can sell as soon as there is a downward cross. Do not trade there. For example, look. Fisher has crossed here, but KDJ has crossed here before. Now a downward cross is formed. You know, there is no intersection here, you fall into a fake signal here. Pay attention to these. Now let me show you the scan of this strategy on Crypto Tracker, guys. Let me show you the scan settings right away, then you can adjust it according to you. In order to catch these intersections in 1 hour period, all you have to do is select the stochastic value between 0 and 10 in the scan. Rating strong buy, neutral. Moving averages, strong buy, neutral. Oscillator rating, strong buy, neutral. After you set it up, friends, of course, do not forget to choose the stock market you use. Since I trade on Binance, I have Binance selected. After choosing this, friends, we choose the time interval, that is, the period from here. The period of this will be 1 minute, you will scan in a 1 minute period. You will trade in a 1 hour period. Don't forget the finer details here. Do not change the period here. Let's not forget that we will trade in a 1 hour period with a 1 minute scan. Now, friends, the cryptocurrencies that come out here do not always show us the intersections, but they help us find the cryptocurrencies that intersect and are close to the intersection. I am currently looking for USDT-based cryptocurrencies. Currently, USDT-based crypto money is out. I click on the crypto money that comes out, and as you can see, friends, it gave us a cryptocurrency with this intersection. Of course, it also gives non-intersecting cryptocurrencies, we have to check it one by one. Let's take a look at the wax bust pair. As you can see, we looked at the bust parity of the same coin, it gave a signal again. Currently, I can't show friends because it's not based on USD, but if you do it with these settings, it doesn't give the exact intersections in all of them, but it also shows the crosses in the coins that are issued. So this helps you search for cryptocurrencies. In other words, if you scan there instead of setting an alarm on each issue, you will find the intersections, friends. For example, when we look here, the two do not intersect at the same time, as you can see, friends. KDJ intersects before, then Fisher intersects. And as you can see, it gives the sell signal here. In other words, if you trade here, it would remove you from the trade there. Still, you traded it with a small profit. So guys, let's take a look at this. If you had bought it here at closing, you would probably have sold it here. You would still get 2% profit. You know, some of us see the 8% rise there and sell, some of us follow the indicators and exit the trade with a profit of 2.5% here. I'm checking again to see if it is output based on USD. For example, let's look at the US dollar. Again, it showed us what intersects in the same way here, friends. I guess it's not out because of the market, but as I said, I'm using it. Using this, I find coins, friends, this way you can find coins. Most likely, the reason why it gives at the intersection may be due to the money values. Because it usually gives more on the basis of UST, it also gives fakes, but usually it does. If you try this, friends, this is just a strategy one gave you to make your job easier as an extra. As I said, friends, what I am telling you here is not just any investment advice. I just showed you a trading strategy that I use myself. You can also use it as a daily day trade. If you follow the market well, it will give you the opportunity to trade an average of 4 or 5 times a day. That's all I have to say. I hope you understand. I hope that will be useful. My aim is to help you. If you follow the rules well, I believe you will earn friends. As I said, definitely pay attention to the places you need to pay attention. Follow the sell rules, obey the stop rule. Follow the indicators you use and know the rules well. It is in your hands to enter and exit the transaction with the intersection. Friends, the event is simple and the strategy is very easy. It's up to you guys. Take care of yourself, guys. This is not investment advice. If you are going to trade, if you follow the rules as I have shown and enter the trade like that and you have a stop loss, your loss will be very low. You lose a very small amount, you stop. Other than that, there is nothing difficult about the strategy, my friends. Take care of yourselves. I wish you good luck.